Some residents of Kase in the Ashanti region threw caution to the wind as they siphoned diesel from a tanker that toppled over on Sunday. Many stored several drums of diesel in their homes before the police and fire service could get to the scene. Nalerigu has more in the following report.
The long vehicle carrying 54,000 litres of diesel fell off as it negotiated a curve leading to the Bulk Oil Storage and Transport Company. ADO2 Ebenezer Graham explains the cause of the accident.
The main Guinness road has been blocked, so definitely have to find a way. And the only alternative was to pass through this rough road, and he didn't get it right, so the thing have to go down. The place is charged, so we used our chemical compound to fill the place so that we can reduce the charge system in the area, so that it will not bring any unforeseen fire.
It took the efforts of the police and fire service to control the number of people trooping to the area to siphon fuel to their homes. David fixes sliding doors nearby. He has a bucket in hand. With the foam in it, he soaks the diesel and squeezes the content into the bucket. He is not deterred by the police presence in carrying through with the operation.
Fast. Buy a crown more, I buy so my Kakrank, Ambo, Akram, Buzuko. So I'm one ya, I get 12 better to me, Sakiama. I'm one yano, a dear Biabe Pesca, Timmy Diam Kaede, a bound. I feel crowding a yaboka. Christmas be a toa. Johnson is me one. I told you.
Few meters from the scene is an old man believed to be in his late 50s. In front of him is a bucket filled with diesel. He narrates how almost the whole community came to share in the booty.
I was a skinny baby. Into a buy and at your top of never see a force to see a benyabi. Yes, we had the Korea half hour. And I do foam. And me in your be, sir. It will be the chance and I say you bought near Pam's on farm cock. Yen per se, a jabia betoni in a beshire.
Some of them had already sold the diesel to dealers.
Those pa Gugatin, Mamma for Bebre, Omade, Sagala Macasiaka, drums, Acasiano. Omodia, Sister Bebre, Taman for your pa.
You're talking about a 140 cities. Menka quite ton tray. My ton tray. Almost a bonimo, the mamma 1.2.
Ah, boy, salary a bit deal, Papa.
The Ghana National Fire Service expressed disappointment at the behavior of the public.
We always advise the public that when there's incidents like this, they are supposed to run away from the incident. Instead, they rather come forward to look for something. I think that same thing happened at Pristia with the dynamite. Anything can happen. So for saving your own life, when there's any incident, move away from the incident, then leave it for the professional to come and do their work.
Neither the security personnel nor the danger the diesel poses to the lives of the people will deter them from coming here to cut the diesel into their homes. Indeed, this is a disaster in waiting. For JoyNews, Nalerigu, Kumasi.
Now there's tension in Akachi South constituency as some committee members and the Electoral Commission prepare to conduct the constituency elections there despite the court injunction. Some aggrieved members want the national and regional executives to resolve issues regarding alleged discrimination against some aspirants. Some of them have also accused the police of allegedly taking sides with the old executives to disregard the court injunction. My colleague Ivy Sertuji joins us live with more. Ivy, what more can you tell us in this development?
Well, currently, the delegates have gathered. The EC is around to conduct the election, but some of the aggrieved aspirants and delegates are of the view that it shouldn't hold because of the court injunction. If you can remember, there was an injunction on Akachi South, Angrogan, Keta, and Ketu South, and even Ho, but some of these places are still going on with the election, Ho as well. So they are asking that if something is not done due to the security situations in Akachi South between the police and the youth recently, there may be some calamities, but for now, the EC is just setting up. They are about to start conducting the election for today. So we are waiting to see if it will be peaceful or if something may happen. But aspirants or aggrieved aspirants are calling on the national and the regional executives to do something about the situation to avoid any calamities or any problems after the election. But for now, they are about to conduct the election.
But if there is an injunction on this election, why are the executives and the Electoral Commission itself preparing to go ahead with the election?
Well, for now, none of them is willing to talk to the media or anyone concerning the injunction. But it's clearly that there is an injunction. They have been said. But for now, the EC, no, the police, or even those conducting the election are not ready to stick with the media on this issue. Only the aspirants, or the aggrieved aspirants, are talking about the issue because, according to them, they have been affected greatly about this issue. So, for now, we wait to see what will actually happen, and we wait to see if the regional and the national executives will come into the issue and resolve this amicably to avoid any disturbance.
How about the environment where the election is going to be held? What do you see? For
now, it is calm. A few security here and there, but the place looks calm. Just that there are some agitation. Some people are not comfortable with what is happening. So for now, the place is calm. Some people are scared that something may happen. But as we speak, the place is calm.
How about security? Describe to us how the security presence is like at this particular venue.
Well, security is not that much. Okay. Just a few of them hovering around. Not much security. That's an interesting situation because there was an issue recently between the police and the the youth in the town that resulted into some deaths. But for now, not much security is around, just a few. Everything looks calm. Everything looks calm for now. And so we'll wait to see what happens next.
What have the police also been saying in relation to the allegation that they've taken sides?
Nothing. The police are not saying anything at all. Not now. No, they are. I don't know if they are not willing to talk or they are waiting to talk at the right time. But for now, they are not saying anything.
Well, meanwhile, 6 constituencies in the Northeast region have also successfully conducted their polls. In all, 196 aspirants and 3,515 delegates took part in elections. The elections, which started on Thursday and ended on Saturday, were largely peaceful and incident-free, except for a few disagreements in the Nalerigu and Gambaga constituency following accusations of manipulation against some of the regional executives. Correspondent Elias Utanko monitored the exercise and filed this report.
Petitioners include Dalade Abdul Rashid, Idrisu Hamza, Imuru Majid, Musa Jalil, Idrisu Ibrahim, and Ibrahim Fatima. The others are Haruna Yusuf, Salifu Saibu, Bugri David, Alasan Zakaria, Brahima Mohammed, and Mohammed Yamusa Wangara. Speaking to Joy News, the petitioners claimed the decision to relocate the venue for the exercise from the regional capital was a unilateral decision taken with an ulterior motive by certain members of the election committee. Musa Jalil, an assistant secretary aspirant, is one of the petitioners.
We raised eyebrows even before they communicated to us about LNBC because there was a grapevine information that they were planning to send it to LNBC. And then it seems there is an ulterior motive about sending it to LNBC. Because we believe that it's rather better and best to have held it in Nalerigu because one, Nalerigu is found in the middle of the constituency, where the people of Bintiri, the people of Kulgona, the people of Lambisi, Wundue, and Sakogu could come to meet. Again, it is the constituency headquarters because we have constituency and regional party offices in Nalerigu. So for security reasons, we are thinking that going to Lambisi, our safety and security will not be guaranteed.
The petition has become a subject of disagreement between the party regional executives who approved the election in Langbinsi and the Municipal Security Council, the Nayiri, on one hand, who want to side with the petitioner for security reasons. According to the disgruntled aspirant, despite the intervention of both the regional police and the Nayiri, the Constituency Election Committee has refused to rescind the decision. They also want to resist any attempt to use vigilantes to intimidate them and their supporters on election day.
We wrote the petition, myself and together with other aspirants who are disgruntled about this whole impunity, wrote the petition. We served the regional police command, we served the municipal police command, we served the Nayiri, and we served the chancellor of MISEC, that's Municipal Security Council, because the Nayiri doesn't want any chaos in his kingdom. So because of that, we were all summoned there. When we went there, they asked the committee of elections to also come. They sent their representative. Then the Nayiri said, because of peace, I would have liked this thing to happen in Nalerigu, because there is a big dining hall in Nalerigu Senior High School which can contain everybody, both the delegates and the aspirants and the election officials and the election committee. So we thought they had heeded to the advice and then the orders of the Nayiri. Only for us to see this evening that they are saying that we must go to Langbisi. So what we are trying to let them understand is that, yes, we know what they are up to. And we are not also going to fold our arms and look at them and watch them, cheat us. That one we cannot take it.
The dissatisfied aspirants have, however, served a notice to use other means to challenge the decision and ensure the venue for the exercise is not relocated.
Because when we go there and they try to machinate things, to scheme things, we may not want to understand. And the measurement and the soldier, the security, the national, so-called national security they will bring there will not also want to do things in a neutral way, objectively. They will want to do things to favor some particular people, which we think we are not going to countenance. We won't condone that. Even if it means, stopping EC from going to Langbisi on that day. But I'm not saying what I'm saying is sacrosanct, but it will be part of the decision. Because if we allow certain things to happen. Now, if we decide to say the people of Nalerigu, Sakogu, maybe Gambaga, and other zones that are not in Langbisi Shirungu, they'll go there and hold the elections and come out with names and say they are those that have won. That was just exactly what they did the last time.
From Nalerigu, Elias Sutanko, JoyNews.
Now, the infamous E-levy became effective as of yesterday, May 1. The implementation on the first day has, however, been fraught with varying complaints from customers, many of whom complained of wrongful charges. But speaking to JoyNews on the AM show a while ago, Chief Executive of MTN Mobile Money, Eli Hine, said such issues were anticipated and all effort will be made to reverse all illegitimate charges.
One other thing which we always try and flag when we have these conversations is the fact that people would genuinely make a payment. So let's say you've made a payment to a merchant. You turn around and call us to say that it was a wrong transaction. We would have to confirm with that merchant whether indeed it's a wrong transaction. So if the merchant now comes back to say, no, you bought goods and paid for it, then there is something we need to resolve. And therefore, that process has to be fully investigated before a refund is done. But where it is legitimate, the first request you make, what happens is that we hold the funds on the other side, and then we follow up to engage the other side to say, this was a wrong transaction, and therefore we'll go ahead. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to tamper with it, nothing. We will do the reversal to the recipient. And I can tell you that we do that every day, and there are teams who have been specifically recruited to handle that. So I can understand the challenge with bundles that may have happened in the past, but in the process which we have today, and we appreciate people and their financial needs, we ensure that once it's a legitimate claim, we make the refund. And refunds are done on a regular basis. So I can promise you that these are things we take very seriously. I sometimes tell my colleagues that someone will have value on his airtime, but he will not give you that kind of pressure with that same value on his mobile money wallet. So you need to ensure that when you are dealing with money, you are giving people what you have committed to. So within our committed reversal process, that specific action is taken. So we would ensure, especially in instances where we ourselves have predicted that it will happen because we knew that we could not tell what was happening on the other side, those refund processes will be executed. That is a commitment.
Executive Officer of the Telecoms Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, said a lot is being learned from the processes to fine-tune the system to ensure a smooth integration onto the single platform.
It started quite well in terms of getting the phased implementation started. That's happened, but as a project management person, you know that there'll be teething challenges that would come, there'll be learnings that will be picked up. And so that is going on after the first full day of running it. As Ellie had mentioned, you will pick up all the various reports that you have been picking up during the day, consolidate them, do an analysis of them. The ones that you need to tweak systems, you will do. And then the most important thing is that amongst us, all the charging entities and GRA, there's a lot of communication going on. So that before even day ends, if there are issues that we need to speak about, we're doing that. And we are picking the feedback that is coming. And it's good that today JoyNews has us and we are able to engage with Ghanaians on the process so far. Education, it's going to be an ongoing process because of all the work that had to be done, and you needed to finish all the technical things before you can complete it. And because of the online engagement between the charging entities, and you should understand the plethora of charging entities, several of them, and the scenarios are so many, you wanted to finalize everything before education was really completed. But some level of education had started, and we need to continue it. We need to deepen it. And the interesting thing is that we're going to be using above the line and below the line, methods to do it. So engagements like this with, on your media platform, as well as one-on-one with the various call centers have been set up. All the charging entities have call centers. DRA themselves also have call centers. And then engagement with stakeholders like the Mobile Money Association is something that is also going to continue. And so we for such a complex project, you are going to be picking up learnings and you're going to be passing that on. You need to have alignments, and all of that is really going to continue. So I agree that we need to push the education, and that's a commitment that we have to continue educating ourselves, educating customers, and all those who are within the value chain.
Also, head of project management at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Kobna Amwako, said the telcos have been given 48 hours to make the total money accrued available to the Ghana Revenue Authority as government await all the telcos to hook onto the single platform by July 1, 2022.
We have made sure the APIs that the telcos will use the requirements are what GRA wants. So it
meets your specifications.
It meets our specifications, yes. And the telcos have seen it. We've shared it with them. I mean, on the technical side, we share the APIs with them. We've taken feedback. There's been improvement to it. As Doc said, we're using Agile. So we are moving the initial APIs we shared didn't have some features. Now we've added those features. So it's something that we are developing as and when we get feedback. It also got to be integrated with our internal core tax application. So it means that on the core tax application side, we need to also make modifications which have been made to be able to accept those transactions. Even in this modified approach, you asked how would the funds reach GRA, because the funds are currently not with GRA. It is held up by the charging entities.
Right.
It is
that is the EMIs, right?
The EMI, the PSPs, the bank, the SDI, all of them together are the charging entities. So it's not only EMIs, all the charging entities. Yeah, they need to now pay these collections they've done to us. The agreed time period is now 48 hours. So after today, from tomorrow, they will generate what we call a tax bill and then pay onto the GRA tax portal, and then they pay through the Ghana.gov payment platform. So these are systems that all exist to help this rollout go seamlessly.
All right.
Now, the Governing Council of the University of Education, Winneba, says it is getting frustrated with how some principal officers of the university who are determined to appeal the judgment of a high court that reinstated some principal officers of the university. Chairman of the Governing Council of the university, Nana Ofori-Ansah, stated that in spite of the effort to build bridges and put the university on the path of progress, there are saboteurs that are working against the effort of the Governing Council and management. He was speaking at the graduation of the university. Richard Kojo-Nyako has more in the following report.
On the 2nd of February 2022, the High Court Winneba delivered a ruling and ordered the university to reinstate forthwith some staff of the university who, in the opinion of the court, had wrongly been dismissed or whose appointments had been terminated wrongly since 2017.
That's the chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Education, Winneba, Nana Ofori-Ansah, giving the chronology of events after the High Court ruling that ordered the reinstatement of the former VC and some principal officers.
Prof. Mauto Avoke has since assumed duty as the substantive vice chancellor of the university. Prof, enjoy your return.
He says as part of the roadmap for peace and reconciliation, a 5-member Peace and Reconciliation Committee has been put in place by the Governing Council. The recommendation from the committee, the Governing Council chair explains, is expected to be used to heal the university. But he says certain elements, including principal officers at the university, won't let that peace building work.
In spite of the effort by the government and council to ensure lasting peace at UEW, some agents of the old acrimonious and chaotic era are still bent on maintaining that status quo by trying to frustrate the peace process and the roadmap. Unfortunately, some of these saboteurs are suspected to be principal officers of the university who have vowed not to accept the ruling and orders of the High Court, Winneba, have decided not to cooperate with our reinstated colleagues. It is strongly believed that some of these saboteurs are using surrogates to fight the orders of the High Court, Winneba, at the Supreme Court. It is very unfortunate. It is my humble prayer and appeal that these persons will see reason so that we cooperate with each other for the good of this university.
In his first speech to a graduation class since he returned, the reinstated Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Mauto Avoke, indicated he was committed to continuing the works of his predecessors. But first, all those who were wrongly transferred have been asked to come back.
We are determined to pick up the pieces from wherever the previous administration left off to build together an even stronger organization, living its mission, and this path is crucial. It is indeed heartwarming, Chairman, to announce that almost all our staff who were transferred to Amusted are back with us. And those transferred from UEW are also gone to Amusted. Families living peacefully together were suddenly torn apart. Unwarranted transfers, such as a husband could be sent from Winneba to Kumasi or Ashanti Mapon, leaving wife and children behind, and had to visit fortnightly to keep family together. It was one of such visits that the young working staff with a bright future lost his life. It is our hope that never again should such ruthless treatment be meted out to staff of this institution.
The Vice-Chancellor also stated how the university assisted some of its students that were involved in an accident on March 13. The accident claimed 6 lives and injured several other students of the university. Professor Avoke indicated that all the survivors have received treatment and returned to campus, with many of them receiving individual and group counseling as well as various forms of support to help them cope with the trauma. The university, he indicated, has taken full responsibility of the medical bills of the affected students. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonya-Akon, Winneba.
As part of measures to clearly define the country's borderlines with its neighbors, the Ghana Boundaries Commission, together with the Togo and the AU, will construct 50 identifiable pillars to set Ghana apart from Togo. This will help settle any future border dispute and prevent the increasing rate of crimes along the border. The existing demarcations have been either eroded or removed by unscrupulous persons. This was announced by the Commissioner of Ghana Boundaries Commission, Major General Emmanuel Kotia, during a meeting with the Ketu North Municipal Security Council at the Akano border. There is more in this report.
So the meeting today is to take this opportunity to rather sensitize the immigration and custom officials and other officials of the local administration who are within this area, and to inform them that this exercise is going to take off. We're going to have a local sensitization of the local committees on the 10th in Aflao, and then on the 11th, we will be in Akano to have a joint meeting with the locals from Togo and Ghana here in Akano.
On the 11th of April, I arranged with my counterpart in Togo. We went and met him and had a discussion on how we can work together to solve some of these problems. So it is good that you are coming in now.
We're looking forward of launching the sensitization program, which will be done in Denu, jointly with the Togolese from the 10th on the 10th of May. Then we'll move down here to do a joint program with the Togolese as well on the 11th of May. Now, the essence of the sensitization is to sensitize all those living along the boundaries about the reaffirmation exercise that we're going to do. The reaffirmation exercise involves construction of 3 major pillars: Pillar 1, Pillar 2, Pillar 3, and 4, and 4. So that is 4 actually, but Pillar 1 is out because it's going to be a monument. And intermediary pillars. In addition, we will have border crossing point pillars. So invariably, we're going to have 4 types of pillars that are going to be done. And we're going to have each pillar going down to about 2 meters and above about 2 meters, which is completely quite different from the old type of pillars that we have.
Do we know how many pillars exactly are supposed to be erected? Between
Aflao and Kano, 50 pillars. Either they're going to be a combination of main pillars, intermediate pillars, and then border crossing post pillars.
But in terms of costing, I'm sure when we talk about this, it always comes up. You've talked about the partnership with the AU amongst others. How much exactly is it expected to cost us as a nation to bring this up? And why is it just Ghana's side that is erecting these pillars and not the Togo side?
It's not Ghana's side which is erecting, it's both sides. It's a collaboration of both Ghana and Togo boundary commissions. And let me also emphasize, it's a land boundary pillars that we are doing. So both Ghana and Togo are jointly presenting these pillars. Both Ghana and Togo are jointly presenting these pillars for the African Union Boundary Commission to bid for a contractor who is going to do it. So far as cost concept aspect is concerned, there is not going to be any costs implications for Ghana and Togo governments, but it's going to be borne by the African Union Boundary Commission because it's part of the efforts of the African Union Boundary Commission as border strategy to help countries to redemarcate and reaffirm their borders.
So by this collaboration, can we safely then say that there's no border or boundary dispute between Ghana and Togo?
For now, this is the first phase. And in the first phase, we've identified a number of boundary pillars have been removed. That encourages encroaches, that encourages cross-border movements that probably people cannot monitor, and that also creates problems so far as demarcation issues are concerned. Now, within that period and within that area, we expect that there will not be any problem. And we have all agreed, using the legacy documents that exist, that those are the international boundary lines that we have to affirm. There may be other issues in other parts of the boundary line between Ghana and Togo. But this is the first phase, and we're going to tackle others as we go on. Before the end of the year, we're hoping to do a number of it.
Okay. This is where we are now. We are the Akano site of the Ghana-Togo border. And it's interesting, the history that we've had and the lessons that we've had from this particular site. We are told is a land that can be described as a no man's land as we speak, because the ECOWAS has acquired it, and this is the border. So I'm sure once we pan the camera around, you get to see what it entails. It's not just Aflao that we have the Akano side. Reporting for JoyNews, MFA Pau from Akano.
Ghanaian youth have been urged to venture into cocoa production to be self-sufficient rather than relying on the government for non-existent jobs. Supreme Chairman of Cocoa Board Workers Union, Edward Oko Ampafo, tells JoyNews a lot of incentives have been instituted to boost cocoa production. According to him, there is a distribution of free improved seedlings to farmers in the cocoa growing areas in the country. Hence, the youth have thus been encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity.
I work with the Extension Department, Cocoa Health and Extension Department. We are in charge of all the agronomic practices, that is, advising farmers on good agronomic practices. We also do productivity enhancement program, that's mass spraying, pollination and pruning, to be able to increase production. And no wonder this year we've been able to achieve the highest ever production in the annals of the country's history. Yeah, we are now making sure the more we are able to produce more, we should be able to highlight and sensitize Ghanaians to be able to consume. So at least once we are consuming, because we know the health benefit of cocoa. It is the, how do we call it? The health benefit is well known to everybody, and we think we have to make Ghanaians aware of the benefit of the cocoa, consuming cocoa, so that at least every Ghanaian will be able to take part in the consumption, so that the health benefit will not only sell cocoa to outside for them to get the health benefit, but will also be able to get some of the health benefit that is in the cocoa pod. My CE has even initiated a cocoa artisanal, that we want to increase people in Ghana doing artisanal in cocoa, like how do we call it, cocoa chocolate. We handmade cocoa chocolate, so that we'll be able to create, you who don't have work to be able to do cocoa products and sell within in the country. It is also going to create a lot of jobs. Apart from that, we are also encouraging the youth also to go into cocoa production, because now cocoa price locally is now something is always going up, and we think that when you sit down and you say that, oh, I want job from government, I want job from government. Meanwhile, cocoa roasters have been able to develop new breed which can only fruit within 2 years. So when you take the pod is already 4 months at the nursery. So within 2 years, that's in the next 1 year, 6 months, the cocoa has started fruiting. So the youth shouldn't sit down and say we are waiting for government to give us your government to give. Just get a land, come to Cocoa Board. We'll give you free seedlings, we'll give you the incentives to be able to go into cocoa production.
Now, Muslims have been urged to celebrate this year's Eid al-Fitr moderately in order to portray the true meaning of Islam. All activities must be related to the religion and done in peace. This came up at the last fast-breaking meal to end this year's Ramadan with some youth of various zongos in Kumasi. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
This was the last fast-breaking meal after several ones were organized to dine and discuss issues that bother Muslim communities. The end of Ramadan is complemented by the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, and Eid al-Fitr means the end of the fast from dawn until sunset throughout Ramadan. The festival is held with great fanfare, goodies and prayers. Muslims are urged to celebrate in moderation in order to depict the true meaning of Islam. Here is Alhaji Ali Suraj.
It's impressive. You come and see your brothers. First of all, years ago, we were talking about going to club. Some years ago, people are preparing for the Salah to finish so that they will do a dancing Salah festival.
According to him, the 30-day fast should not be pointless. Muslims need to demonstrate humility and honesty in their transactions.
I want them to reflect of being justice and honest, especially humbling ourselves to the society. Giving back to the society is constant because this is where you come from. At least everybody know that I'm a Goro boy. Today, when I come to my community, they give me a chair. Let me use this platform to advise the youth. You are the next generation, so you should learn how to respect. If you don't respect, you think God has given you small thing or small change, so you think you are better than somebody. Trust me, a day will come where you have no place, when the children are playing. So bring yourself down.
His call is also being echoed by other Muslims like Musa Nuhu and Muhammad Nuruddin Abubakar Ali.
For having me this evening. Yes, previously before Ramadan, people used to plan going to Gangara, locally called Gangara, the festival of kings and queen mothers passing by. And some people use that advantage to create so many things that are uncalled for, and that normally doesn't go well with the Zongo community, and it's spoiling our name. So with this, we, the upcoming youth, both parties, both NDC and NPP, decided to come together to at least innovate something that will bring all the youth of Zongos on board.
Actually, what you said is right. The normal occurrence at every seller is the youth, out of enjoyment or excitement, we tend to engage in activities that are inimical to the concept of the Eid. It is expected for us to just dress in our clothes, go to the mosque, pray, come and celebrate with our families, do the usual procession from the central mosque to the Sakinzogo Palace. But in that process, you find a lot of us engaging in harmful activities, stealing, armed robbery, fighting, and other things. So what the elders have given notice to the police, the security command, to take action on every youth. Yesterday, the Sakinzogo was given a strong warning that any youth caught engaged in such acts shouldn't be given immediate bail. He should be prosecuted.
Political parties like the NDC and NPP say their efforts to encourage Muslims to make good use of their potentials and avoid violence are in progress. This year's Eid al-Fitr is observed on Monday, May 2, 2022. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
So we'll take a quick break. We will return with business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Former President John Mahama has charged Indigenous healthcare company M-Pharma to help offer solutions to healthcare needs using technology. He is encouraging the company to scale up and offer healthcare with this community-based approach for free or at a subsidized cost to millions of people on the continent. He made this known when a former health minister, Alex Segbefia, represented him virtually at the launch of M-Pharma's annual impact report at Senchi in the Eastern region. Tema correspondent Kwame Anka has more.
M-Pharma is an indigenous business which took off in 2013 and currently has its footprint in 8 other African countries. The company believes helping in vendor management, inventory services, primary care solutions for community pharmacies, and data analytics will improve care. Representing John Mahama, former health minister Alex Segbefia says the availability of this solution in over 300 pharmacies is a testament to the competency of indigenous businesses.
We have to push for technology-based, patient-centered, and community-focused approaches that can meet the needs of patients irrespective of location or financial status. Increasing access to healthcare is not enough. We also need to increase affordability of drugs and health services. A critical missing link in our current setup is the lack of focus on wellness. Across our villages, towns, and cities, many only seek care when they are sick. Widespread economic hardship means that people cannot afford routine health checkups. This ought to stop.
Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of M-Pharma, Gregory Roxon, says the company will invest about $100 million in the next few years.
Really, at M-Pharma, we start our day and end our day with really a simple question. How do we build an Africa in good health? And we believe that we can transform community pharmacies into the bedrock of a new health system on the continent. And so our view and our vision is that we will continue to make investments across the continent in community pharmacies and build them into primary healthcare centers so that each community on the continent will have access to a primary care health center. I mean, we've invested over $40 million in the infrastructure since we started. And over the next 3 years, our goal is to actually double that and invest about $100 million to really become the most comprehensive healthcare infrastructure on the continent.
Chief Product Officer and co-founder of M-Pharma, Daniel Shukumas, believes deployment of their software, Bloom, plays a crucial role in healthcare delivery.
In other news this morning, a board chairman of the Hydro Cooperative Credit Union, Joseph Asari Ketuku, has assured members of the cooperative it would continue to put in policies to protect investment and savings. He said the cooperative union has been resilient amid the COVID-19 pandemic and the banking sector cleanup. He was speaking at the commissioning of the Hydro Cooperative Credit Union Netco Tamale Agency. Martina Bugri has more.
Hydro Cooperative Credit Union, established over 50 years ago, was initially set up to offer services to workers in the country's energy-producing institutions. But with time, they have grown leap and bounds, serving outsiders with branches. Currently, the union is the second out of the 546 credit unions in Ghana. Speaking at the commissioning of the Netco Tamale Agency of the union, the board chairman, Joseph Asari Ketuku, outlined achievements they have chalked since the new board took over.
The Hydro Cooperative Credit Union has been on its feet and continued to operate over the past 50 years now. This is due to competent and dedicated leadership who have made prudent decisions over the period with the help of members to bring us this far. Here we are to celebrate yet another achievement. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to put on record some of the achievements of the current board to give assurance to our cherished members that the safety and soundness of the Hydro Cooperative Credit Union is guaranteed. For the first time in the history of the Hydro Cooperative Credit Union, the board declared and ensured payment of 40% dividend on the net surplus of 7.7 million Ghana cedis.
The general manager of the Hydro Cooperative Credit Union, Joseph Gatti, urged members to take advantage of the dividend they make when they buy shares.
You have people who are making dividend as high as 10,000, even 15,000, 5,000, 4,000. What that means is that the higher shares you have, share capital you have, the higher dividend you will get. And then the issue also about the savings. A member talked about, okay, I need to get some savings before I can access loan. I did explain yesterday in Teshiman that I want our members, for us to have a target, that by the time I'm getting to my retirement age, I should be able to have this level of savings in my account. So you look at the savings as a product on its own, and look at the loan also separate. That maybe I should have a target that by the time I'm retiring, I should have about 70, 80,000 Ghana cedis savings in my account. And then the issue about the loan, most of the time when we come around, one of the things that motivates me most is that members show me pictures of building projects that they have done. I'll be able to educate my children to the university level. It's one of the things that motivates me to do more what I do. So one of the benefits of the credit union, it's because you have access to credit and you have ability to repay. You take advantage now.
And that's business for now. There is more news after this break.
Welcome back from the break. Now, the Islamic Holy Fasting Month is traditionally a busy period for tailors as people buy new clothes to mark the Eid al-Fitr festival that ends Ramadan. With everyone wanting to stand out and look good on the day of Eid, most tailors fail to meet the expectations of their client due to the pressure they find themselves in. With less than 24 hours to mark this important festival, my colleague Anas Sabet has been engaging some fashion designers on what they go through within the final few days of Ramadan and came across with this report.
Each year, fashion designers across various Muslim communities go through busy periods at the later part of Ramadan, all in their quest to satisfy their clients ahead of the Eid festivities. Out of curiosity, I decided to engage some tailors to have their take on measures they put in place to ensure that they are able to satisfy their clients on time. Ramatu Audu is the CEO of Ramo Clothing here in Asebi.
Before Ramadan, when I see that Ramadan is closer with the ready-made stuff, all the shops are in pressure. We normally sew different type of designs, bringing out new designs in order to be able to work during Ramadan period. Most of the time during Ramadan period, people will also be bringing their own stuff. I'll be able to get the chance to do it for them because I've already sewn some of the stuff which I can sew. So I can deal with them.
Rama says to stay away from disappointing her clients and receiving insults at the end, she makes sure that she do not accept more than she can handle within this period.
I don't normally take what is beyond my capabilities because I don't want any insult. And so far so good, I have never collect someone's thing during Ramadan period and not finish it. I finish everybody's things because I don't want any insults.
Here at the NKK Fashion Center in Techiman Hausa Line, I met Salu Mekankan, who has been into this profession for over 15 years. Though Mekankan admits that some tailors disappoint clients, he attributes the blames to clients who usually submit their materials late in the month. He says the situation has always been same. Clients do not submit their materials at the start of Ramadan. We wait till the end and start piling pressure on us. Our regular customers do delay in bringing their stuff, and after we are already out of time, they bring them and you cannot reject it either because of our relationship with them. So in short, this is why we are always under pressure. He also says whilst clients complain of disappointments, some tailors are also disappointed by clients who fail to pick up their items after forcing them to overstay to work on them. There are others who, after all the pressure, would still not come for their clothes. As we speak, we have several of these items here, even though we are done sewing them. Some have been here for more than 2 years. Yet, we are always at fault in such situations. Yakubu Fuseni, on the other hand, appeals to clients to be patient with fashion designers within this period as they overstay at night just to fulfill their promises.
Later on, less than that,
Those who submit their items very late, some less than a week to the Eid, are the reasons why we have always been in this situation. And after every effort to get it done, we'll by all means disappoint a few, and that is why we are pleading with the customers to bear with us because we do not do this intentionally. Chief Executive Officer of Ramo Clothing, Ramatu Audu, however, appealed to colleague fashion designers to fear Allah and stay away from disappointing clients, all in the name of making money.
They should fear Allah. Don't take someone, because you take someone's thing and say the person, you give it to the person before Ramadan ends, and you are not be able to meet the time. What have you done? You flew the person, which is not good in Islam. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Well, these and many other reasons are why some tailors go about disappointing their clients during Eid festivities. Anas Sabit, JoyNews, Teaching.
And that's our bulletin for you today. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Have a great morning.